Okay, with the suit reveal officially out for Spider-Man Brand New Day, a lot of people have been talking about MCU Spider-Man recently, and I wanted to have a conversation because my friends and also people on the internet have been talking about, we need to stop this whole argument of Tom Holland is not the best Spider-Man because he haven't had his own solo film. Tom Holland is not as good as a Spider-Man because he hasn't had a solo film of his own where he's defeating his own villains, okay? I am so sick and tired of this narrative being pushed by, and I think Tobey Maguire is my favorite Spider-Man, right? Because I grew up on him, right? But we're not going to sit here and discredit Tom Holland Spider-Man, okay? Especially when there's a dumpster fire of a franchise that Amazing Spider-Man is. But I'm not going to degrade one Spider-Man to big up the other. But let's not sit here and lie and say, oh my God, Tom Holland Spider-Man hasn't reached the peaks of Tobey Maguire. You're lying! You're lying! That's what you're doing! That is what you're doing. You're going to sit here and say Spider-Man versus Thanos is not as cool as anything else that Tobey has done. Like, let's not lie to ourselves here. Let's not lie to ourselves here. We have a Spider-Man that is in the MCU that people have been begging for years. I was around when Tobey Spider-Man was out. I know what people have been saying. Man, I wish we had other characters going into the universe. I hate that Spider-Man's on his own. Why does he have to be on the solo universe? We hate Sony for that. Now that we get that full force, y'all have a problem with it. Y'all don't know what y'all... This is with a section of Spider-Man fans that just love to yap. I promise you. They will find anything to complain. People were already pre-hating on this suit. They were already hating on the suit before the suit even got revealed, right? But now that the suit got revealed, people are complaining, oh my God, the logo's too big. Oh my God, why is the colors muted? Oh my God, like, bro, what are we doing here? But back to the point at hand of people talking about Tom Holland isn't the best Spider-Man or Tom Holland Spider-Man isn't as good because he didn't have a solo film defeating his own enemies without a hero's help. That was what Far From Home was about. And also, every one of his movies, he actually defeated his villains himself. That's what he did. He did it, okay? He did it. From Homecoming, he defeated the Vulture. Far From Home, he defeated Mysterio. No Way Home, he defeated Green Goblin. Like, what are we doing here? He did this. Like, he defeated them. Like, with his own. He didn't ask for help. He didn't have Doctor Strange show up and assist him and making portals and helping him fight. He didn't have Iron Man blast the Vulture out of the sky and him like, none of this happened. Are y'all watching the movies? Like, and I'm not sitting here saying that Tom Holland Spider-Man is the greatest Spider-Man of all time and his movies are better than anything that we've ever seen. No, I'm not saying I have gripes with all of the films, right? But we're not going to sit here and straight lie and say that, oh my God, Tom Holland can never get the job done because the Hulk and the Punisher are in a Spider-Man film. Stuff that we've been begging for years. These are the same people that complain every time Spider-Man doesn't show up in the MCU project. When Daredevil is fighting street crime, they're like, why doesn't Spider-Man just show up and assist him? So y'all can complain that Daredevil can't do shit on his own? Like, come on, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Y'all sit here and lie. Like, you're lying. That's what's going on. Stop lying on Tom Holland, okay? We're not gonna sit here and lie in cap and say, oh my God, I wish Spider-Man wasn't in the MCU so he'd be in his own universe. Get the fuck out of here, bro, because you're lying to me. That's what's happening. You're just, it is not even blatant lies, because people have been begging for decades to have Spider-Man in the MCU, and now that we've had it, and we have one of the most coolest moments with Spider-Man, him in space fighting aliens, him fighting Thanos with the Avengers. What are we asking for here, okay? Now, I'm not going to say he's excused from all people have issues with how heavily tied he wasn't with Iron Man at the beginning and stuff like that, but you're going to sit here and lie to say that we haven't had some of the coolest stories and coolest moments in the MCU through Tom Holland Spider-Man? You're capping, okay? People still bring up the Mysterio scene to this day, all right, because of how creative and cool it is. We have an iconic and almost one-to-one version of Mysterio. I say almost because the backstory is a little bit differently, but this is what we wanted Mysterio. And he's fighting Spider-Man by himself. The only thing that's separating Far From Home from any other Spider-Man film is that not in New York. And now you're telling me that Spider-Man can't travel out of the state? And also, it makes even more sense that Spider-Man is also running to different heroes while he's, venturing out, because he's in New York, where almost every goddamn hero in the MCU is there. Like, why doesn't it would make less sense if Spider-Man is fighting this doomsday scenario in New York and no one shows up? Y'all will be complaining then. What do you mean that they're altering reality and Doctor Strange doesn't show up? Y'all do this shit every day. Y'all do this to every other MCU project. When WandaVision happened, people was asking, where's Doctor Strange at? Why hasn't he showed up? Why hasn't he stopped this? When he's across the goddamn country, but you want someone that's next door not to do anything about it. You're like, what are we doing? It's insane because people will have the closed-minded mentality. CMM, I'm calling it now. And y'all just wanted to hate. Y'all are pre-hated, and it's ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous. I can't explain how weird it is sometimes. Because it's like, no matter what, Tom Holland could come out tomorrow and say, hey, everything's going to be comic accurate. Boom, boom, boom. We're taking this from this book, this from this book. We're fixing this terrible story. Blah, 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 blah. People be like, still ain't Toby, though. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Okay? And I'm not going to discredit Tobey Maguire because he has one of the best Spider-Man films ever. But we're not going to sit here and cap and say, man, I wish he interacted with more characters, stuff like that. You want to know why one of the biggest Easter eggs in Spider-Man, what was it, Spider-Man 2? Was people thought the Punisher was in the scene where Mary Jane was running away from the wedding. And it was like, oh my God, the Punisher's going to cross over in the Spider-Man. And it turned out it wasn't true like years later. But people kept talking about that. So don't sit here and say, oh man, you know, people didn't want Tobey Maguire to interact with other heroes. You're just capping here. You're capping. And so when Tobey Maguire shows up in Secret Wars and he interacts with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and they interact with Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier, y'all are going to be the first one clapping and crying in that theater shaking ass, okay? And when Spider-Man Brand New Day makes a Billy, because it will, y'all going to be like, you know, it's whatever, it's whatever. Tom Holland's not my Spider-Man. Well, he's the only Spider-Man with 4 films, so get over it, okay? So what are we doing here? If we really want to go, I don't even want to go there. But if we really want to go there, like, there's a reason why Tom Holland has having a saga of movies instead of just 3. Like, come on, like, what? There's a reason here. We can have this conversation. It's okay. All right. We can have this conversation without people. It's kind of like the people who are just in denial that facts are facts. Like people who still try to say LeBron James should have won the MVP in 2011. Well, he didn't. All right. Well, he didn't. Get over it. I'm sorry. D Rose got the MVP. Get over it. It happened. Okay. You can sit here talking about the stats and this, that, and the third and this. I don't care because he didn't win it. He didn't win it. That's like Shaq said, I should have been the first unanimous MVP. He didn't get it, but I don't know what you want me to say. Oh well, you can toss and turn and moan, saying how Tom Holland isn't the best Spider-Man. Well, to society he is. All right. Well, you gotta let it go. I'm sorry. It's not a Blaze situation where they can't get boots off the ground. I will see if this franchise was a dumpster fire and they're dragging it along. This franchise has been pretty great. Okay, at bare minimum, it's been a 7 out of 10. Okay. But those are my thoughts. Let me know what y'all think. Do y'all agree with this? Tom Holland Spider-Man isn't the best because he doesn't have a solo film, quote unquote. I'll be in the comments down below. I know people gonna be yapping about this, and I'm out. Peace.